Hi, my name is James Montgomery. It's backwards. Um, and then here are the notes for this. Not super organized. So to begin, I'll describe the components of the integumentary system. So it's got two major components. You have the skin itself, along with the accessory structures. So the skin is made up of two layers, the epidermis and the dermis, and usually the hypodermis or subcutaneous layer is not included in the integumentary system. And you have the accessory structures like the hairs, uh, exocrine glands such as sebaceous and sweat glands, and nails. And so hair has the function of keeping, trapping heat next to the body, keeping you warm. Exocrine glands, sweat helps cool the body in times of thermal stress, and sebaceous oil glands, they help keep the skin soft and supple, and nails help protect the fingers and toes. So the layers of the epidermis, we're going to go from the bottom to the top. Start with the stratum basale. It's a single layer. It has melanocytes as well as keratinocytes, which are the most common cells in the epidermis. And the epidermis, by the way, is the outer layer of the skin. The dermis is the layer under that, and the hypodermis is the layer under that. So, so bottom to top, you have the stratum basale. After that, you have the stratum spinosum, which has a bunch of keratinocytes as well, as long as melanocytes, along with an abundance of, or not an abundance of, but there are Langerhans cells, which are immune cells in that layer. After that, you have the stratum granulosum, where this is the last layer where all your cells still have the nucleus, and they start manufacturing a lot of keratin. And then after this layer, you get to the stratum lucidum, which is where the keratinocytes shed all their organelles, including the nucleus, and so basically, they're just little cells, and it's a clear layer. That's why it's called stratum lucidum. And then above that, you have the stratum corneum, which is a bunch of dead, heavily keratinated cells, which are just layers of cells that can be shed, and that's what you feel when you're actually touching things. And they provide the protection. So the dermis has two layers. The reticular layer, which is the lower layer, it's made of denser connective tissue and has like the roots of the blood vessels that vascularize the skin. And then you have the papillary layer, which is made of more loose connective tissue above that, and it serves as the attachment point for the epidermis as like an anchor. And you have the hypodermis or subcutaneous layer, which, like I said, not usually considered part of the integumentary system, which has a lot of adipose or fat tissue, um, which functions as a shock absorber, uh, retaining heat in the body, and as well as having like that fat for an energy reserve in times of stress. And so an example of the anatomy of the skin related to my future career would be something like a melanoma, which is a cancer of the melanocytes in the skin. And one of the things about like skin cancer is that because skin cells are some of the most commonly and frequently dividing cells in the body, cancers are pretty common. Skin cancer is the most common type of cancer. So yeah, there it is. There's my presentation.